The cartridge arrived in a plain brown envelope with no return address. At first, I thought it was some kind of joke. Inside was an old, battered copy of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. The label was torn, stained by something dark that looked almost black under the kitchen light. Scribbled across the front in faded marker was a single word: Ben. I laughed. Back then, everyone knew the old internet stories about Ben drowned, a haunted game cartridge, a dead kid trapped in code, disturbing glitches. I figured someone had found an old cartridge and wanted to mess with me. I should have thrown it away. Instead, I bought a second-hand N64 from a local shop and plugged the cartridge in. The game booted normally, at first. The title screen appeared, but there was no music, only a low crackling sound that reminded me of something breathing through a broken speaker. I played for about 20 minutes. The game felt wrong. NPCs stared at me longer than they should have. Text boxes appeared for a fraction of a second before disappearing. Sometimes, Link would stop moving entirely, as if waiting for a command I wasn't giving. Then I reached Clocktown. Every character was gone. The streets were empty. No music, no sound except for that faint static breathing. I saved and quit. The next morning, the cartridge was sitting on my desk. The N64 was unplugged. I lived alone. I told myself I had forgotten where I had left it. That explanation lasted until the messages started appearing. My computer screen was flickered while I was working. A notepad window opened by itself. 3 words appeared. You found me. I immediately disconnected the internet. The message remained. I checked for malware. Nothing. Factory reset? Nothing. The words still appeared. Sometimes on my phone, sometimes on my television, once on the digital display of my microwave. You found me. A week later, the game changed. The save file no longer used my name. It said Ben. The moment I loaded it, the screen froze. Link stood in the center of an empty field. A figure appeared in the distance. Not the statue, not a game mode I recognized. A boy, thin, dark hair hanging over his face. Standing perfectly still. I couldn't move. The controller wasn't responding. The boy slowly raised his head. His eyes were completely black. The television shut off at the same moment. Every light in my apartment went out. Silence. Then a voice, not from the TV, not from my phone, from somewhere inside the room. A child's voice, whispering, "Thank you." I didn't sleep that night, or the next. Every electronic device in my apartment began behaving strangely. Security cameras captured movement in empty rooms. My phone gallery filled with photos I had never taken. Photos of me sleeping. Photos taken from inside my apartment. Photos taken from corners where no person could possibly stand. Then came the final picture. It showed my bedroom. I was asleep in bed. Standing beside me was the same boy from the game, staring directly into the camera, smiling. I moved out the next day, left everything behind, the cartridge included. For a while, things seemed normal. Months passed. I convinced myself it had all been stress, paranoia, coincidence. Then one night I received an email. No sender, no subject. One attachment, a video file. Against my better judgment, I opened it. The footage showed a dark room illuminated by the glow of a television. The camera slowly approached the screen. An N64 was running, Majora's Mask. The save file read, Ben. The camera got closer, closer, even closer. Then the screen turned black. A face emerged from the darkness, the same pale boy. Only this time he looked older, more detailed, less like a game character, more like a real person. His eyes locked onto mine and he spoke, not through the speaker, not through the recording, through the room itself, as though he was standing behind me. I couldn't stay in there forever. I turned around. Nothing. When I looked back at the monitor, the video had ended. A new file had appeared on my desktop, a webcam photo taken seconds earlier. I was sitting at my computer. The room behind me was dark, except for a figure standing in the doorway, a thin boy with black eyes and a wet, crooked smile. The metadata showed the image had been created from my own webcam. My webcam wasn't connected. I deleted the photo. It reappeared. I destroyed the hard drive. The file appeared on my phone. I smashed the phone. The photo appeared on a tablet I hadn't used in years. No matter what device I checked, it was there, waiting. The figure in the doorway getting a little closer each time. One step, then another, then another. The latest photo was taken this morning. He's no longer standing in the doorway. He's standing beside my chair, looking down at me, smiling. And the worst part is the reflection of his black eyes. I can see something, a television screen, a game cartridge, and someone else's room, someone else's house, someone else opening a package with no return address, someone who thinks they've just received an old game, someone who hasn't realized yet that Ben isn't just trapped inside the cartridge anymore. The cartridge is just how he finds the next person.